Oh, hey everybody, how we doing today? Teching 101 back again with a new haircut. I only bring this up because I think that was the longest I let my hair grow out in a long time. I think it was like July was the last time I had a haircut. And now that it's mostly all gone, I'm like, wow, I can feel the back of my neck. This is weird. I have ears. Did you guys know that? That's crazy. Okay. All right. One of these days, don't worry about it. One of these days, I'm going to have a crazy hairstyle. I'm going to try something really radically different. Eventually. Okay, well anyway, today we're going to be looking at the new One Piece episode, and the new One Piece story arc, and the new One Piece opening, and the new One Piece ending. Back of my head. Just like, okay, let's do this. I ought to be honest with you though, I'm being fully real with you at the beginning here. A lot of people were praising this episode for a bunch of different reasons. Now, look, the opening is really solid. The ending is really solid, okay? And kicking off the Egghead arc and everything like that. But I gotta be honest with you, right? As I see it, this episode is so short. I mean, it's like a 10-minute episode. The episode's literally the opening, and then it has, like, a bunch of dead space where nothing happens. And then it just cuts to the Straw Hats arriving outside Egghead. Now, granted, those scenes are really cool. The Straw Hats all working together, you know, and the giant waves and the wind and the snow. And then they see the warm eddy, and Zoro has the moment where he slices the eddy in half, and then Bonnie pops out, and then Chopper comes out, and he has the hat, and he flies off, and then Luffy grabs him, and he flies off, and then, you know, they're out there in the air, and then grab Bonnie, and then it's like, oh my god, there's a giant shark. It's like, oh, okay, all right, and we have the ending. The ending is great, but the rest of the episode is just gone. It's just not there anymore. It's almost like it never existed. And I have to say, I don't get what they were going for there. Okay, so obviously we're covering Lulusia in this episode as well, which is crazy because, like, you know, the first episode of the Egghead arc, and that's literally how we kick it off, right? Okay, so I think we should probably talk about the opening first. So the new opening is Us with 5 U's and 1 S, or Asu in Japanese. It was performed by Hiroshi Kitadani. And if you know anything about One Piece openings, Hiroshi Kitadani is kind of like he's the one that did We Are and We Go and Over the Top for Wano. And so whenever he does a One Piece opening, it's pretty much guaranteed. Not only is it going to be really good, it's going to be top tier. It's like, because he did We Are, it's kind of like he is the default staple One Piece opening guy. All right, so whenever there's a new opening, it's like, okay, Kitadani is involved. All right, it's going to be fantastic. All right, now, I'm not going to go through like a whole breakdown of the entire thing. Artur already did that over on his channel if you want like a frame-by-frame thing, but I will do a few highlights of things that I personally enjoyed. First of all, just the feel, the vibe, the tone, the animation, the movement of everything in this opening is, a word I would use is refreshing, especially after Wano. Look, Wano was a great arc. I enjoyed it, okay? There was some high points, there were some low points, there were some fast-paced moments, there were some slow-paced moments in Wano, okay? But you gotta remember, Wano is the longest story arc in all of One Piece, all right? And in the manga, it was 149 chapters. In the anime, it was 191 episodes. And I calculated that, and 17.5% of the One Piece anime was Wano. I'm going to repeat that again to you. 17.5%, almost a fifth of this entire anime was just one arc, and that was Wano, okay? So there's a lot of crazy stuff happening there. It's really nice that after we left Wano, we're getting this new opening, and it's sort of just like taking some water and just splashing it in your face and just being like, okay, that was a crazy adventure in Japan. Now let's see what magical future land has in store for us, okay? So that's one thing I would say about the tone of the intro. I really liked the opening shots where they incorporate the One Piece logo into various scenes of the arc, like melding them together, like the shot of Vega Force One lifting up the Sunny as it's like bobbing in the water, and then the scene where the Straw Hats are jumping on the island clouds, where Jinbei, Chopper, and Luffy are messing around in the junkyard. There, you even see a shot, and I missed it the first time I watched it, you even see a shot of the ancient robot, the Iron Giant, like in the background with the One Piece logo over it as like Luffy's looking around like, whoa, there's the robot, there's the Iron Giant. I'm like, that's really cool, right? You got this stage select screen. It's very video game-esque because it's the future land with all the different satellites there together. You got Lilith and Shaka, and then Edison with Atlas, and then York with Pythagoras. You got Vegapunk showing up. It's just like, he's kind of doing the thing like from the Ed, Edd n Eddy intro, like, he's just like waving his arms. Hi, everybody, I'm Vegapunk, Quasar. You know, it's just there. You got Stussy and Kaku and Lucci arriving. You got like cool scenes with like the Straw Hats looking into monitors and messing around in the hallways of Egghead. You got the scene where Luffy and Zoro are sitting on the couch, and then the monitor behind them like lights up with all the satellites, and then it lights up with Garp and you know, all the members of Sword, and then Buggy with the Cross Guild. It's like, this arc is going to, if you haven't read the manga for this and yet you're watching me, I have to say this arc is going to move around a lot. We're really going to get a good scope of the scale of the One Piece world. So we're going to cut around to see what's up with Law and Blackbeard, with Shanks and Kid and Sword and Garp and Buggy and the Cross Guild, plus everything that's happening in Egghead. So we have a lot of stuff going on here, and this intro manages to pack a lot of it in to really showcase everything happening concurrently in the present story of One Piece right now, okay? You got a shot of Morgan, and like he's obscuring Vivi with his feathers. There's also the shot of Wapple in the background with his eyes like, I've seen things. You know, I've seen things that no man should see in this story. So Wapple's really terrified there. My favorite shot of the whole intro, though, easily, and I even tweeted about this, or I went on X about this. I'm never calling it X. I've tweeted about this, right? Was the shot where Luffy is walking and it's doing a reverse montage with every outfit he's ever worn in the story, in each arc, okay? So it starts with his Egghead outfit right now, and then it dials back to his outfit with the cape and the cloak when he fought against Kaido, and then the Wano outfit, and then the Tea Party. Even the arcs where he had multiple outfits, they show, like, every single one. And I went through every single one of these frame by frame, and the attention to detail, like, they really did their due diligence with this. Like, when you start getting back to Impel Down and Amazon Lily and Sabaody, you have Luffy wearing Captain John's like treasure band. Like, they made sure to include that. Even subtle things like, did you know that during Enies Lobby, Luffy had a different pair of shorts? They were cargo shorts in Enies Lobby. Usually he wears blue denim shorts. In Enies Lobby, he switched up for black cargo shorts for whatever reason. Well, I actually know the reason: to keep some meat in there, right? So that's just a subtle change, not really that big of a deal, but they included it. Another subtle one was when you get back to Skypiea, where Luffy's outfit is pretty much the exact same outfit, you know, with his red vest and his denim shorts. The only difference during Skypiea is he was wearing an armband with like a bracelet over it or something, and that was it. That was the only difference, and they included that in the intro. Artur mentioned, you know, during Drum Island when Luffy had Nami's jacket on, like the sleeve was blown off, they included that. So they even did post Alabasta. So they did the like post Alabasta outfit where there was actually a lot of filler arcs after Alabasta in the anime, and Luffy and the crew continued to wear their post-Alabasta outfits during those fillers, so they even included that, and then the Alabasta outfit, and then Drum Island, and then before that, Luffy didn't really wear that many outfits, pretty much through East Blue into the Grand Line, like the first few arcs of like Whiskey Peak and Little Garden, Luffy just had the same outfit, but like that was really cool. And then there's a shot where they're walking on different grounds of different arcs, and their outfits are changing, like all the Straw Hats are there now, so yeah, like I said, Artur went into a whole breakdown of it, but my goodness gracious, that was so cool with the attention to detail and everything. You have the shot with like Kobe running away from Avala Pizarro in the island form, and Hibari's behind him just like, run Kobe senpai, and then you have Luffy just going into Gear 5th and like dancing. Everybody's clashing together with everybody. Blackbeard's clashing with Law, Kid's clashing with Shanks, Zoro's clashing with S-Hawk, Luffy's clashing with Lucci. You see the fist punch and then just light up, and then oh my god. And then there's a very short scene, but it has stirred up a lot of like interest in terms of a particular One Piece theory, and I'm a proponent of this, so I'm really hoping this ends up being a thing. When we see Vivi approaching a hole, which is the hole that Wappo uses his Munch Munch powers to create to escape Marijois. So that's like Vivi escaping Marijois. Then it changes from a hole to the paw bubble, and Bonnie is there in front of the bubble. So it kind of goes like Vivi into the hole and then Bonnie with the paw bubble. But one way to interpret that is Vivi approaching the paw fruit as like maybe she's going to get it. Maybe. I hope so. Maybe not, but it's in the intro, kinda. Opening is incredible. I've listened to it several times by now. It's already added on my playlist. So there's that. Okay, so getting into the actual episode, we're breaking this into two halves. One half is focusing on Sabo and the Lulusia Kingdom, and the other half is focusing on the Straw Hats approaching Egghead, okay? So the way that they handled the destruction of Lulusia was dramatic as hell. Like, they really went 100% with that. You know what I mean? It wasn't played, it was not played so much for action, like giant sky laser beam, boom! You know, this was played up like this was the darkest day for Lulusia for a number of different reasons, okay? It even went a little further to show you. It's like, okay, so after King Seki arrived back to the Lulusia Kingdom, the populace rebelled. They were one of the 8 kingdoms that rebelled against their rulers. They grabbed King Seki and the princess, I forget her name, and they threw her into they threw him in the castle dungeon, okay? And then it even goes to show, like, the people of Lulusia beginning to repair, the people of Lulusia beginning to, like, you know, fix up all their buildings and be like, okay, our revolution was basically successful. Let's do this. Let's repair our country and make it a better place, okay? And then you have Sabo over the Den Mushi contacting the revolutionaries, telling him that he's okay, but not only that, more about just like, hey, just wanted to let you know this is really important. I didn't even have time to, like, you know, protect the phone call with a white Den Mushi or something, and they even bring that up at the communication division in the Marines when they're tapping the phone call. It's like, oh, he's not even using, you know, a white Den Mushi, therefore it must be an emergency call, right? So Sabo just really wanted to tell Dragon and everybody, listen, that news was bullshit. I didn't kill Cobra, all right? Like, I'll tell you more later when I get back there, and I'll give you the whole story. But for right now, I need you to understand 2 things. Number 1, I did not kill Cobra, and all the revolutionaries are like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's reassuring, okay. I mean, we already knew you didn't, but it's good to hear it from you. And the second thing is that I saw something crazy on the empty throne, you know? And that shot was great because, like, that's when the ominous music really starts to cue up and we begin to see the clouds appearing over Lulusia and everybody's looking up and just like, it looks like there's something, like, big and ominous up in the sky, like some kind of unidentified flying object, as it were, right? Everybody's, like, looking up in the sky, and it's getting dark. You see King Seki in the dungeon, and he's just horrible, and he's just like, how dare you ants imprison me? And I love how the guards of King Seki, the citizens of Lulusia, are actually pretty chill. They're like, please, Seki, just... like, if only you cared a little bit about your people. It's like, who cares about the people? I'm the king! It's like, King Seki, come on now. Like, you're just being a dick. You know, right? So there's all that going on, right? And while the Gorosei are listening to the phone call, and you know, the way that these lines were delivered, especially like when Sabo was like, Dragon, I saw something at Marijois on the empty throne where there should be nobody. That's when one of the Gorosei, Jupiter, speaks up, and he's like, communication division, end your communications. Communication division, cease the communications. And so, like, you even see the expression of the dude, like, in the communication room, like, he gets it. Like, the Gorosei is giving us an order to end the phone call, because he's probably listening in to, like, what? What's this? Something at Marijois? The empty throne? What's going on? And he's like, cease communications. And the dude is even like, oh, this is something. Because here's the thing. You have to know that even though, like, most of the people don't know about Im-sama, they don't know about, you know, the Gorosei's true nature. They don't know anything about, like, the empty throne and all that bullshit, right? They know about the empty throne, but they don't know that Im sits on the empty throne. But I got to imagine if you are working for the Marines, if you're kind of higher up in the Marines, especially if you're working at Marijois, like even the guards at Marijois even mentioned like the Phantom Room and stuff like that, there's got to be some gossip going around. But it's the kind of gossip that you got to be really careful about what you say, because if you say the wrong thing, you're just going to end up missing the next day. You know what I mean? It's that kind of gossip. It's not the kind of stuff you go to the water cooler and you're like, so, what if... that empty throne we have in that other room over there? It's like, yeah, I know the empty throne. Nobody sits on it. That's the whole point. Yeah. What if somebody did sit on it, though? What if there was, like, some immortal being that sits on the empty throne? I'm like, you better watch yourself. That talk's going to get you freaking killed. No, man, it's just a theory. A government theory. Thanks for watching. And then the next day, that guy's just gone. He's like, Terry didn't show up for work today. Which is weird considering he lives here. Okay, well, guess Terry didn't exist. It's like, there's got to be some theories going around that people aren't saying. They're just keeping to themselves. So that guy at the communication department, he's just like, cut the communications. It's like, yep. I didn't hear shit. I didn't hear shit. I didn't hear it. I have a family. I have kids. I didn't hear anything. It's just like, okay, it's a good thing you didn't. I'm like, nope, no, I was, I actually called in sick today. I wasn't even at the communication division. We intercepted no phone calls, sir. It's like, that's the kind of level of terror. Like, you have a suspicion that something is up, but you're not going to say shit. You know what I mean? Right? Okay. Also, something about Eam that I wanted to address here. I can't really tell if it's just based on the angle or not, but does Eam look like a member of the long arm tribe to you? Just the way that Eam's arm is like bending when they're like reaching out. I'm not really sure. Once again, we don't really know what Eam's body is even shaped like, or like the angle because of the cloak and everything like that. But from one particular angle, it kind of looks like he has, or they have, two joints in their arms. So maybe Eam is a long arm this whole time. Who'd have thunk it? So we actually see the laser beams come down. And of course, in the manga, it's just one big double page spread. And it looks amazing. It's just all these different lasers coming together and like coalescing into a giant, big, fuck off laser beam, right? So here we actually see it drawn out a bit where the lasers all come down independently. There's like a flash of green light and then the red laser beams. It's like the Christmas cannon. It's like red and green and it just comes down and it just carpet bombs the entire Lulusia kingdom. Just like boom, 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 boom. And like all the people are just getting wiped out. And then it comes down on the castle and it just, kills Seki and the princess and everybody in the castle. And then you see the entire, like the devastation of the island being just destroyed. And then the giant hole in the ocean that's left over after this. And then the sea quakes and everything like that. And, that's the end of Lulusia. For further information, go check out the Geography is Everything video I made on Lulusia. Did I make a Geography is Everything video on Lulusia? I don't know. I think I might have. I'm not really sure. I don't remember, actually. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know if this island existed. What are we talking about again? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is the communication division received no message this day, and there's a giant hole in the ocean now for some reason. So anyway, we get the new eye catches. That's neat. One eye catch is Luffy, like, running over to the other members of the crew in their Egghead outfits and like giving them a big bear hug. And then the next one we have Luffy running around the lab and getting his clothes ripped off and being replaced with the Egghead attire, like the clothing machine 5000 or whatever Vegapunk invented. So that was cool, right? Okay. So then this next scene was a little stuff was added in there where we had some extra stuff of the Straw Hats, like furling the sails. Jinbei really showcasing his helmsmanship, where he's the new member of the crew, so you really got to showcase how awesome he is, like, maneuvering. There's an extra scene where they have to dodge icebergs, you know what I mean? And so, like, Jinbei is just like, yeah, okay. He's, like, steering. You see, like, a shot under the water of the Sunny, like, avoiding the icebergs, like in a video game or something, right? So they're maneuvering around, and everybody's working together, and then it eventually leads to the scene where Luffy spots the warm eddy, and it's this giant, like, as Brooks says, it's like an afro in the ocean. And something with the warm eddy that I didn't take from the manga was just in the center of it, it's like warm. It looks like there's like a sun in the middle of the warm eddy, because that's the whole point. It's warm water that is forced upwards super fast because of Egghead's island aircon system. It kind of messes with the whole climate, right? It's like the vents or whatever. So it pushes up all the vented, like, like hot air out of the island, I guess, into this warm eddy, right? So they see that, and it looks really cool. Sanji, of course, has his observation hockey, and he senses like, oh, there is a lady in distress in the bubble. We have to save her. And Zoro's like, all right, I can cut it. It's just like, hey, watch it. I'm just like, I'm not gonna cut somebody in half, I got it, don't worry about it. You have the cool scene with Zoro using, one sword style, what was it called, bird frenzy or something, but whatever. It reminded me of the technique that he used against the new Fishmen pirates during Fishman Island. He had one sword style disaster harbor bird, which was basically just like a Getsuga Tensho. It was just like a one sword style like crescent slash directly at Horty, and Horty just picked up a dude and just used him as a human shield in order to block the attack. Kind of like that, just like a straight shot kind of thing. Slices up the warm eddy. Bonnie falls out. Chopper walks out wearing the hat and just like, hey, everybody, I'm here to help. Oh, no! And he just goes flying off. Luffy grabs him. He goes flying off. Because of the wind currents and everything like that, they stay airborne for a while. They don't immediately fall in the ocean. So then they, Luffy grabs Bonnie. So there's just 3 of them now, all of them Devil Fruit users. And then Bonnie is like, oh, my God, thank you so much for saving me. Wait a minute. Where's the giant monster? What giant monster? Look down! And so all the Straw Hats look down. And they all have a moment of like, oh no. And Usopp, like, it's not just Usopp. It's like everybody, right? And Usopp in particular, though, is like, we gotta get out of here. And he's like running away. And then last scene of the episode, you just see the zoom out and you see the giant shark. And I mean, like, listen. The Sunny is a big boat. It's a really big boat, okay? I think if you balanced it from the bow to the stern, like straight up, it's like 55-something meters tall. Like, it's a really big ship, okay? And the fact that the mouth of this shark is bigger than the entire Sunny, that it could just gulp the whole thing, is crazy big. And then later when Vega Force 1, I think you have to realize how big Vega Force 1 would have to be to just pick up the Sunny like it was a bath toy. All right? Like, the Vega Force 1 has to be, 300 meters tall and, 200 across to even, do that. All right? So, the scale of these objects, of these, sea beasts and these robots are gargantuan, okay? So that's the end of the episode there, where we just see the shark appearing and just yeah, we're here. This is welcome to the future island. At the end of the episode, we have this cute little scene I guess they're going to be doing now with Chopper and Robin keeping tabs on things in the world of today's episode is about Sabo. We're going to learn a little bit more about him in case you forgot, It's probably aimed more at kids, but it's a cute little scene with Chopper and Robin, right? Okay. And just this is Sabo. He was born on March 20th and his favorite food is ramen. It's wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that about Sabo. Okay. Then we have the preview for the next episode, where the most notable thing is we have Jinbei running out to go save everybody, but then we also have the appearance of Lilith in Vega Force 1, and we don't see Lilith's face, but we see her boots, and then we see the back of her jacket and the VP written across it, which, by the way, I guess that means Lilith is that they're meeting the vice president of Egghead. That's crazy, All right, no, but Vegapunk, she has the star jacket and everything, and that's really cool looking. So I'm really excited for the next episode. That's going to be an epic one. And then we end out with the ending, and the ending is once again bringing back a One Piece opening ending alumni, I suppose, I guess the best way to describe it. The ending theme is Dear Sunrise by Maki Otsuki. They got a member of the Otsuki clan to do this. No, Maki Otsuki was the one that did the very first One Piece ending, Memories. Memories and Run, 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 which was the second ending. So for this one, I guess mostly because it's the final saga, going into Egghead is the final saga, let's bring back, the original the original person that did the opening and the original person that did the ending of One Piece, and have composed some new songs and then have this all tied together. So just like how Asu or Us is sort of a sequel to We Are and We Go, And then we have Dear Sunrise, that's a sequel to Memories. Okay, and the ending plays and all the different strats, like how they join the cruise and everything. Like Usopp is there when his first introduction. Brooke is there playing the piano. So an absolutely banger of a way to start off the final saga in the anime. We're going to be moving right along to. And you know what's insane to me? Now that this new anime adaptation is coming out by Wit Studios, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, so now we're going to get like at least 2 animations of every single arc in this story. So, like, I'm sitting there, like, watching the Egghead arc, you know, seeing how, like, cool how this is animated and everything like that with the giant Eddie and the shark and everything. And then you see Egghead at the very end of the preview with, like, it looming in the background. And I'm like, dude, this isn't even going to be the only time we're going to see this animated. If they're really doing a whole new anime adaptation the whole way through in, like, you know, 6, 7, 8 years... I might be being too, maybe that might be longer than that. Maybe in around 10 years, we might be seeing the exact same scene animated again. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to see Wano animated all over again, except more streamlined this time, of course. You know, holding true to the manga material, you know, so it's like, you know, that's crazy that we're getting a whole new anime adaptation. So if it's like, hey, I really like the, you know, Dressrosa in the manga, but the anime, I wasn't a fan of it. Now we're going to get a whole new version of Dressrosa, a whole new version of Wano, a whole new version of Egghead. So, I mean, that's going to be years and years and years down the line, like a decade down the line probably, but still kind of cool that we're going to get that eventually. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, anyway, that was the video. Thank you for watching, everybody. Moving on to the newest saga. This will be Teching 101 and Barry's freeloading dad that's still sticking around. Signing out. Later, everybody. Also, as for the Christmas decorations, I should bring that up. So, my mom's side of the family celebrates Christmas on January 7th because they're Ukrainian Orthodox. However, because we had this big, giant snowstorm this past week, we didn't actually have a chance to celebrate it because everybody had to, like, cancel. So, they're coming down next week, which is actually the new year on the Ukrainian, like, the calendar that they utilize. So with all that being said, like, at the end of it all, like, it's like I'm just gonna leave the Christmas decorations up until like mid-January. So that's just how that's gonna go. But after that, Barry's dad, you should probably maybe get going, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Tech Egg signing out.